live in Los Angeles. This is The Herd, wherever you may be and however you may be listening. We are live in Los Angeles on iHeartRadio, Fox Sports Radio, and FS1. Loaded show today. David Falk, Michael Jordan's agent, super agent. Many said he and David Stern and Michael ran the league, joins us next hour. Tim Grover, Michael Jordan's longtime excellent trainer. Was a trainer to Kobe, was a trainer to D. Wade. He'll be joining us next hour as well. 1 hour from now, Colin right, Colin wrong. So we are packed. I just got a text this morning from Bill Simmons. He wants to be on this week, and we want to have him on this week, so that'll be great. And Joy Taylor's joining me. Joy, how are you?
I'm great. It was a great weekend. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. Hope
yes.
Everyone had a great day.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
It was an awesome day. So there are a lot of different ways to go on The Last Dance. I got a sneak peek. I got to watch both episodes early. I went and watched both again. That's how fond I am of it. One of my favorite moments was Michael Jordan and David Stern shooting down the Michael Jordan was suspended for gambling rumor. This has always been a nonsense rumor, but for all you conspiracy people out there, just remember, commissioners are paid by owners. The idea that you could walk to owners, the NBA had never been this popular. All the owners were getting rich, and they were getting rich, and all the valuations of their franchises were going up because the TV ratings were massive because of Michael Jordan. With all due respect to the Orlando Magic and Rick Smits and John Starks, the ratings were great because of Michael Jordan. That you could go to them and say, hey, we're going to suspend Michael for 18 months. Why? Nobody was bothered by it. You didn't care as a fan. I didn't care. I was in the media. NBC didn't care. The owners didn't care. Nobody cared. I mean, media people, but they care about a lot of things we don't. And I don't even know if the media cared. Nobody cared. So you'd walk up to the owners and go, yeah, we're going to get rid of him. Why? Because he bets while golfing. And the owners would think, yeah, so do I. Doesn't everybody? I'm not even good at golf. I bet golfing. Doesn't everybody? It's just absurd. Magic and Bird were gone. Michael was driving the ratings. It was making everybody rich. And the idea, the funny part about this, the funny part about the rumors of David Stern, who laughed it off, and Michael laughed it off. I mean, when people just laugh about rumors, you can tell when somebody's lying. They're all just rolling their eyes at it. The idea that you'd suspend Michael for 18 months, isn't that kind of a random number? So I'm supposed to believe David Stern called Michael. Michael, this is Commissioner Stern. You've been suspended for 18 months. And Michael would go, so I can come back next year, halfway through it? Yes, I know that makes no sense, but I'm going to suspend you this year, and then next year, baseball's going to go on strike, and you're not going to cross the picket line and come back. And then Michael would go, how do you know there's going to be a strike? And David would go, I don't know. It's amazing, isn't it? It hasn't happened, but I'm predicting it. Even though nobody knows it's happening and nobody thinks it's happening, I'm predicting a baseball strike. And then we'll just let you wade back in. I mean, it's so stupid. There's two problems with conspiracy theorists. Number one, they're losers. Number two is, even if you give them facts, they hold on to their conspiracy theory like they did their teddy bear when they were 20. Yeah, conspiracy theorists hold on to teddy bears at 20. The rest of us give them up at 7. It made no sense. It was the Patrick Ewing, remember the frozen envelope rumor? This is another absurd rumor. So David Stern was this young litigator, super smart guy, chief counsel for the NBA. Great future. In 1984, they give him the job as NBA commissioner. And immediately he's a home run. I'm supposed to believe he's going to throw his entire professional legacy and career down the drain, 7 figures, to freeze an envelope and make sure Patrick Ewing ends up with the New York Knicks. For the record, Adam Silver makes over $25 million a year, and the Knicks are horrible. Commissioners all make 7-8 figures a year. It doesn't matter how good New York teams are. It doesn't. What is the digital growth, the television ratings growth? What is the global growth of the NBA? Global growth is a big deal. The idea that you need teams to win. If Roger Goodell was tied to the New York teams, his salary would be a third of what it is today. The Saints, the Packers are significantly better than New York teams in the NFL. Oklahoma City's better run than the New York teams. David Stern's going to throw his career away. That'd be like working your entire career to be in administration as a high school principal. And you're a lady and you've had you go to college and you're a teacher and then you're a vice principal and then you become principal of a high school, very nice high school, and you've worked very hard. And then the minute you get the job, you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to dip into a slush fund and ruin my career for an extra $7,000 every 18 months. I'm just going to dip into that and ruin my entire career. Why would you do that? You have a great career. You're going to have a pension. It's a school. I don't know why I do that. That would be dumb, but I'm going to do that. I'm sure you can find an example of a teacher that one time did that, but they're not very smart. David Stern was really smart. It's just like the death of Michael Jordan's dad. He was murdered by two creeps, two violent criminals who had robbed banks before they did that. I'm supposed to believe Michael Jordan owed somebody $35,000 in a golf debt, and they went and found two hillbillies who robbed banks, and and they knew his dad, rural road, parked a car, slept, they tracked him, and you didn't even have GPS back then. You didn't have radar. Folks, none of this stuff. My favorite part of this is there are two things about this documentary I love. Number one, Jordan's an alpha male, and in a time where anybody that's got a little alpha, it's called toxic masculinity. Michael's like, I'm a guy. I'm not apologizing for who I am. This is how I work. I'm tough. I'm into winning. If you're not, I don't care about you. I so appreciate a guy not worrying about how it lands on social media. It's just refreshing to have a guy say, hey, you're either into winning or I got no use for you. It's refreshing. I got to be honest. It's refreshing to not be consumed with how everything lands. Just, here's who I am. I'm old. It's okay to be old school. You can be old. It's this idea that Michael he was forced out. Tim Grover, who's on our show next hour, the trainer, acknowledged in his book years ago, Michael told him a year out, I need a baseball body. I'm going to go play baseball. Last night, he said, yeah, Michael told me during the Dream Team, I'm going to go play baseball. And he said, when? He goes, I got to win a third championship in a row because Magic and Bird haven't done that. We know Michael's competitive. And he goes, after that, I'm going to go play baseball. I'm worn out. We know Michael was worn out. We know he couldn't go in public. So it's been so refreshing. Michael is unapologetically old school on certain things. Not everything, but certain things. I love that. And it's been able to puncture all these nonsensical, there are certain things, when people come up to me, they're overwhelmingly nice. But one of the non-starters where I just will roll my eyes at people is when they throw a conspiracy theory at me. I can't take, in the history of conspiracy theories, I'm sure some have been right, but I still can't find one in sports that's been right, and they're just nonsense. And the MJ gambling stuff, he forced to leave, makes no sense. You have multiple people that knew he was playing baseball. And by the way, you can make an argument he would have stayed in baseball if not for the strike. I mean, Michael was into baseball. Everybody around him is like, no, he's into this stuff. Like, he loves baseball. You can't go to the South, have batting practice for 4 hours, blisters on your hands, because, I was forced into baseball. If Michael was forced into baseball, he wouldn't have spent 4 hours in a batting cage with sores on his hands. He was into baseball. Like old school. He's an old school soul, right? Good to have you in today. Packed. David Falk, MJ's agent next hour, and Tim Grover, two smart guys. Jamal Crawford stops by. Doug Gottlieb. First of all, Congratulations to the UFC. We no longer have it at the networks I work at, but I thought it was great. I bought the card. I thought it was fantastic. It's one of the top 5 UFC cards ever. And some thoughts on why it was so important going forward for that sport and all of us. That is coming up. Over 50 years ago, 2 men with a passion for motorsport and engineering began building race car engines in an old abandoned mill. And as I've said before, you'd hate to build a mill and it be abandoned right out of the chute. I mean, that'd be a waste of, good lumber or something. It was an old abandoned mill. And these 2 engineers saw an opportunity at every turn, at every curve. A chance to break the rules, prove that a 2-ton family sedan could have the hour track races. Okay, the engineering company kept going and going and going. They put race car engines in luxury sedans and stunned